What is going on, everybody? Thank you so much for jumping into this video today. My name is Danny Coldblood, aka My Music Vidiot, and we are going to go ahead and talk about GTA 5 and the mystery within, as there is new Easter eggs that have been discovered, and we're going to go ahead and bring in fellow Chiliad mystery hunter Kairos Power in for the video. Kairos, what is going on, my friend?
Not too much, Danny. Happy to be back on the channel. Thanks for having me. I want to take a look at a new find I've been just peering at recently, so let's hop right into that.
Absolutely. Kairos contacted me recently with some new information that has been found, and he discovered this, and it definitely deserves a discussion. So we're going to go ahead and show you the new discovery. We're going to talk about it ourselves, and if you wouldn't mind, as the community, please leave in the comments your ideas, your thoughts, and maybe anything that you discover from the topic that we're talking about. So, Kairos, why am I in Grand Theft Auto 5 staring at the murder mystery rock right now? What is going on here?
Alright, so if you happen to take a look at your phone while you're in story mode and you go over to take a look at Bleeder, depending on your progression in story mode, the page number could change. Now, if you happen to look down, you'll see a bleat by a guy named Party Paul 24. Okay, now Party Paul 24 is bleeding out saying, "I'm in a bedroom I don't recognize. The door is locked and I hear a grown man singing nursery rhymes. Call the police, ask them to trace this number." If you read it and you pay attention, you can obviously see some spelling errors. The guy seems completely freaked out, waking up in a bedroom that he doesn't recognize with the door locked, and then of course hearing a grown man singing some creepy lullaby or some sort of nursery rhyme. It sounds absolutely terrifying.
Yeah, this is pretty crazy because I do know that, like we just shown, there's the nursery rhyme on the rock. There's even connections with Red Dead Redemption 2, how they have us going after a serial killer, and the
That's right.
connections with that even tie into GTA 4 with the serial killer from GTA 4. But as far as we have in GTA 5, it's still basically an unsolved mystery. We have to go after different bodies and stuff, but we've never actually heard from any of the victims, or even maybe even understand any of their names from what I gather. So
Right. And the thing that leads me to believe that this guy is a victim. Okay. Now read it carefully here. He says he hears a grown man singing a nursery rhyme, and we know that Merle was an older man. The Infinite killer, he was an older man, and he did have a nursery rhyme. And if you happen to pull up that picture that I sent you, there's a few references that the game has referring to the Infinite 8 killer, to his poem, or what they call a nursery rhyme. This whole DLC is actually absolutely really interesting, especially with Madame Nazar. She's actually confirming a lot of suspicions and just kind of stuff that was talk among the community. She says she references a lot as far as the mystery goes. And then she tells you, "I see the meaning of a song upon a stone. One is done, two is fun." And she says that's a reference to the Infinite Killer's nursery rhyme. That's how the game is describing it, as a nursery rhyme.
and this is what Madame Nazar says when you go ahead and talk to her inside your arcade.
Right, that's correct. Uh-huh.
I noticed a couple other different stuff with Madame Nazar, like we can call her up, but there doesn't seem to be any resolve to it, and that always seemed kind of suspicious to me as well. And there's been stuff that I've been preaching for so long. I think mostly every hunter can agree with me by now that when GTA, or Rockstar I should say, comes out with a new update, there's always clues involved in that update, and a lot of the times it's them trying to show us something to go back to and take a closer look at. And what have they given us recently? They've shown us recently that there is the murder mystery is still something to take a look at. We had that whole Navy revolver situation where they basically had the murder mystery type of stuff that was on the walls that we had to do in single player, that kind of writing us in online. We had to go through the whole steps to go ahead and then kill that serial killer. And then they brought the online serial killer event in Red Dead 2, and now we see these clues that you're showing us and these new Easter eggs. This is really making me think there is something that we can really do or uncover when it comes to the whole serial killer within Grand Theft Auto 5. Maybe this whole murder mystery, concerning this whole nursery rhyme is unfinished after all.
The only other time I've ever heard, the two words nursery rhyme together in Grand Theft Auto 5, it has been referencing the Infinite 8 killer. So there's a lot of connections here, just going for it. Now, the only argument I have against it is that Merle died in 2004 in prison, and this bleat is supposed to be a current bleat in story mode or sometime in the story progression. So is there a copycat killer? I'm not sure what to make of it. There's too many signs pointing to it being a victim of the Infinite 8 killer, yet the Infinite 8 killer has passed away.
Absolutely, and you know what? I wanna take a closer look at this as I play through, because I'm actually in the middle of another playthrough. When I want to see exactly when this tweet or this bleat actually pops up during the game, exactly, to see if maybe at that moment in the story, if there's something that we can actually go ahead and do at that specific time, because we know that the Easter eggs in GTA all revolve around time, location, all of that matters. So I'd love to see exactly when this pops up. Also, I'm noticing his name is Party Paul 24, and we know that 42, which is 24 backwards, is a big number tied into this game, especially with the pamphlets and stuff that we found at the beach and everything. 42 is the answer, all that stuff. So I wonder if that maybe could be tied into this at all. But Party Paul, do we know anyone named Paul? Is Paul a name that comes up that maybe rings a bell for anybody?
Yeah, off the top of my head, I can't think of anything. But this is where we really need the community to kind of come in and just kind of throw some stuff our way. Now, the other thing I was thinking was possibly maybe this person could be referring to Trevor, but it just doesn't make sense, seeing as how I've never come across a scene where Trevor has locked somebody in a room and happens to be singing.
Right.
It sounds kind of like Trevor's MO, but again, the descriptions of a Saxon being a male and the age being a grown man with nursery rhymes, it's just there's too much that adds up here.
I think
it just raises questions.
I think it's a great discovery, Kairos. Good job on this, because I thought that we've looked at every angle when it comes to, especially this whole Infinite 8 killer. I thought we looked at everything, and it still goes to show you that if we just pay more attention, we will find more answers, more things will come our way. This is a huge clue. Never have we before seen or heard of any of the victims from this Infinite 8 killer. If we can find out exactly when it pops up during our storyline, maybe at that moment in time within our story, we can maybe do something to trigger some sort of resolve, because this is crazy. I mean, to actually hear from somebody that's being in the middle of being kidnapped. So, I mean, is this telling us maybe, how we solve the Infinite 8 killer within the game, by finding the bodies? Maybe this is telling us at least not to solve that before this point in time, at least, because then it wouldn't make complete sense. You know what I mean?
They do have deadlines on the game, and when you pass certain opportunities up in the game, like strangers and freaks, or the random interactions you can have, it's gone. You can't do that anymore.
What is kind of interesting is if you look at the bleat right above it by Paparazzo Beverly, he says the hunter becomes the hunted. I think that's kind of interesting to be followed up by this Party Paul 24 bleat. Notice how the words that are spelled wrong as well, maybe they're key words, like door and number, that seems to be spelled incorrectly as well. Singing.
Nursery, door, recognize, and number. Yeah, they're all spelled incorrectly.
So we're going to go ahead and leave you guys with this one last time at Party Paul 24, leaving a mysterious tweet, or bleat, I should say, within the game. I'm in a bedroom. I don't recognize. The door is locked, and I hear a grown man singing nursery rhymes. Call the police. Asks them to trace this number. #LSPD and #help. Now that's bringing one thing to my mind, Kairos.
Yeah, I just thought of it too. Yes,
Yeah, oh,
absolutely.
yeah.
The Gentry Manor.
The last time you went ahead and got a hold of me about an Easter egg, one of the last times, it was that help Easter egg that you found at the Gentry Manor, where the word help appeared on the walls with a certain point in time. I think it was like 8 or 9 in the morning, when the sun cast a certain shadow onto the rugged type of wall. The wall itself kind of casted a word help all over the wall itself. We'll go ahead and show you guys what we're talking about right here. You're right. The more that the sun is up and shining directly on it, the letters are way more prominent now. You know what I mean? The sun is high in the
clear as
sky.
day.
And yeah, you could see the H is more filled in than it was. But that's crazy, isn't it, Kairos? I mean, come on now.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe it's connected. It's possible.
Connections, and I mean, we do have that that other murder mystery saying, in the Gentry Manor too, scratch on the walls. So
that's right. That's right.
It seems to be an area of interest for sure. So, like I said, man, there's a lot to this, and there could be a lot of interesting opinions.
Absolutely. I really think that this is kind of coincidental that that says help like that right there. I think it's coincidental that there's certain words that are definitely spelled wrong. And I think it's coincidental that we've never heard from one of the victims until now. What else are we missing? This is a great observation, a great discovery, Kairos.
Thank you. Yeah, just trying to look over stuff. Even old finds. They're all pieces to a puzzle. So you don't just discard it. You kind of got to keep it together, and then patterns start emerging. And they're not crazy patterns, as long as you can kind of back it up with evidence. And it seems to make sense here. So we'll see what we got.
Hey man, thank you very much for jumping on the channel again and sharing your discoveries. It's been an honor and a pleasure, Kairos.
Thank you.
Have a good one, buddy. And anyone else that wants to go ahead and send your discoveries, don't forget to hit us up once again at the Chiliad Mystery Club on the Xbox and on the PlayStation, the community solving the Chiliad Mystery. You guys know my other information. It's all in the description below. Also, feel free to send Kairos anything yourself if you want to. He's at Chiliad Culture on Twitter. If you guys send any of your finds or discoveries, we'll be sure to try to highlight that and try to move forward with this Chiliad mystery. So thank you guys all once again for joining up. Kairos, thank you once again, and until next time, everybody.
Thank you.
Take it easy. Ta-ta, and as always, peace.